welcome one, welcome all to the third Campus Jobs podcast. Woo woo! I'm here today with my friend and President of Reading University's Students' Union, Molli Cleaver. Welcome, Molli.
Thank you for having me, Caitlin.
Not at all. Today we are going to talk about sustainability. Sustainability, if I can say it right, is a growing issue in today's society with a lot of issues surrounding climate change and being more ethically and environmentally conscious in your decisions and how you go about every day-to-day life. Molli is my guest today because she recently ran a successful Green Week on campus, and I'm hoping that she can provide us with some helpful tips on how to be more sustainable whilst at university. With that being said, my first question to you, Molli, is how was your Green Week? Can you give us some details about the events that you ran?
Yeah, so we ran the Green Week in collaboration with the university. We've been working really closely with the sustainability department. And I think it was a really big success. Some of the events that we ran in the week, I ran a sustainability workshop on the Thursday that had student societies like the Veggie and Vegan. We also had like the Climate Interaction Group and Student Eats come along to talk about specific sustainability issues in their societies. We ran a smoothie bike. We ran pledge endorsements for students to pledge that they'll lead a more sustainable lifestyle.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and also that they want the university to be more sustainable. Extinction Rebellion ran a talk.
No.
We changed the menu to be more green in Mojo's.
I did say, I didn't realise that was what you were doing until I went into Mojo's, ordered a brownie with ice cream, and then being like gluten-free and all that for a bit of a time, I was sat there and I was eating this brownie and I was like, this tastes like it could be like not fully, do you know what I mean? Like not like an ordinary brownie. And then I was like, wait, hold on. But I did pick up on that. I was like, ooh, a sustainable brownie.
Yeah, we were just trying to find different ways. If students wanted to be sustainable, then it's just small changes that you can make.
Nice. Well, in your opinion then, what do you think is the biggest hurdle for students being sustainable whilst at uni?
I would say affordability probably is the biggest hurdle. You know, I was obviously a student here and I am awful with money and was always broke, so it is quite hard justifying why you would spend more money on, say, organic fruit and vegetables.
Yeah.
You often find with sustainability you've also got to go out of your way sometimes to choose a more sustainable option, which, you know, students don't always want to do. They have busy lives.
We do indeed. You've got to juggle all these different things. In that case then, if affordability and access are the issues that you've highlighted, what do you think could be done to improve those?
So in saying that, I think in some ways it's a case of behaviour change, that it's not all unaffordable and it's not all time consuming. I think it very much used to be, like you take the example of like vegan food. Yeah. There used to be so few options, and the options that they were just shocking.
Yeah. Not appealing at all.
No, exactly, and they were often really expensive as well. So I think it is a case of changing our perspectives a little bit to see that it's not all unaffordable. It might take a bit more care and attention.
I do have to say that Dolce Vita on campus is now all vegan, and it does vegetarian.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love going in there as well, just because the vibe of it, you know, everybody's more relaxed, drinking coffee, I like doing my work in there.
And the catering, you know, the catering outlets on campus have been working really hard to improve their processes, like picking more exciting menu choices. All the beef on the university outlets now comes from 3 miles down the road.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so it's little things here and then, but it is bringing about a behaviour change. And also, I think to a certain extent, it should be the university and the students' union's responsibility to find cheaper options for students.
They do. You do that fruit market, don't you, on a Thursday?
Yeah, exactly. So bringing things onto campus, particularly if you're someone who is maybe might be a first year, you're not necessarily used to the area, you don't know where to find the best sustainable options. We should have that responsibility to bring it onto campus so students have a really easy, affordable and quick way to live more sustainably.
One of the things that I do now, because now that everyone's more aware of their carbon footprint in regards to like food, when I go shopping and I want to buy some fruit or something like that, I'm now consciously checking on the label where the fruits come from. So I'm gravitating more towards things that were produced in the UK to lower my carbon footprint, because obviously now we're aware that they've got to travel all the way here, and it's like, yeah, I can make that little change and just look for things that were produced here. Great. Well, I know that we've mentioned a few initiatives around campus that are aimed at helping students become more sustainable. Another thing I'd like to mention for our listeners are the marketplaces that you can find at Park Eat and Eat the Square. I would really recommend to check them out if you haven't already, because they're super cool. You can buy fresh food, but you can also get refill your tubs of cereal and those kind of sort of things to cut back on plastic. Do you have, I know that we've mentioned a few initiatives. Do you have any others that you could maybe suggest?
Yeah, so a couple of things we're doing in RUSU. We've recently decided to do the Green Impact Award. That's all ready to go, which will give us proper accreditation for our sustainable measures, which sort of holds us accountable that when we say we want to be more sustainable, we're going to live up to that.
Is that agreed? So that's an award for RUSU?
Yeah, so it's come from the NUS. It specifically focuses on RUSU, and there's certain criteria that you have to meet to get bronze, silver or gold. Yeah. Which is really exciting. And for students, we've just started up an environment and ethics student network. Ooh. So if you're not part of a society but you want to meet people who care about sustainability, and you want to get involved in some projects, you can come along to there.
That's cool. I think one of the main societies on campus that are about conscious ethical decisions is that it's a clothing one, isn't it?
Zero Waste.
That's it. Yeah. And they did this really cool event where you could bring your clothes that you no longer wanted, get a token, and then go around and look for other items of clothing that perhaps you fancy.
Yeah, so
really like that.
They've just run their second event, and I think they collected over 400 pieces of clothing. Wow. And what's really brilliant is if there was any clothing left over at the end, it was donated to a homeless charity. Oh. So there was almost a full cycle of reusing.
Well, big up the Zero Waste Society. Yeah. You're doing a great job, if you're listening.
And then obviously we have our fruit and veg market. There's still issues with plastic around it, but it's there to remind students that this could be a more sustainable option. Yeah. For staff at the university, because of course it's not all about students whilst you're here. There is the staff side as well, and it's really important to recognise that they make up part of our community and they have a significant impact on sustainability. Yeah. So the sustainability department, they're
going to be here longer than any student, aren't they? Yeah,
exactly.
Potentially.
Yeah, there is potential for that. So they use the Jump platform, so you can go on that platform. There's a certain criteria that if you complete, for example, walking to work,
get them
reducing your printing, you get points, and then there's competitions between departments across the university, so that's really popular with staff.
I think if we did it, we'd get quite competitive, me and you.
Yeah. I'd obviously win.
Obviously.
And then finally there's my sustainability video. So I found a common problem at this uni is it's really hard to know what's going on. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to find out how you can be more sustainable. So I've looked at places around campus, and some good tips and some did you knows. And you can find them on the RUSU website if you want to know more.
Ooh, go check out that video. Yeah. So in your opinion then, what is the easiest thing that any student can do, just to become more sustainable? Because in my mind, I would say one of the easiest things, and I've started doing this, I was always that kid at school, and my mum used to get so embarrassed, but honestly, I didn't care. I always used to be that kid that would go to school and would just have toothpaste stains on their jumpers.
Nothing's changed.
You didn't need to say that. I was trying to present a more, refined version of myself, but fine, yeah. Sometimes I do get toothpaste on my jumper, or food. Anyway, so one of the things that I'm doing is literally, when you're there brushing your teeth, because if you do it right, you're there for 2 minutes, turn the water off, because I found this statistic that says a running tap water for 2 minutes is equal to 3 to 5 gallons of water. So I feel like that's a really simple thing that anybody can do.
Water, yeah.
Exactly, just to
absolutely.
Be more sustainable. So what would you say would be your...
So my top tip
Yep.
is to avoid what I've called the device rush hour, which tends to be around 4 to 8 p.m, which is essentially when a lot of people come home at the same time. They're all wanting to charge their devices at the same time. They're all wanting to use things that require energy at the same time, which means that I don't even know the energy system.
The national grid.
Yeah, that's the one. Tends to take from fossil fuels to power that. So it becomes like bad energy, I guess. Due to the demand in these hours. So if you can avoid 4 till 8 to charge your devices, maybe not cook dinner in that time.
Yeah.
Hold off a bit.
There you
then
go,
that
guys.
is a really easy
Midnight
way.
snacks are the way to go.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing, so I was talking to a couple of my colleagues about how they're sustainable, or like little things that they do, and one of my colleagues that I work with, he still has a milk delivery, kind of like an old school tradition. Instead of going to the supermarket and getting milk, you know, like in those, although they are recyclable, one of the things that he does is, you know, like a milkman, it's quite an old thing. They'd come and they'd leave their milk in glass bottles, and then they'd pick them up later. So he does that, which I thought was really cool. What is there kind of like an old school tradition that you would recommend for the listeners?
I would absolutely
put you on the spot here.
I know. I would absolutely say I am a lover of markets.
Right.
I think they tend to be quite sustainable because the things you're selling on a market, they don't tend to come in plastic.
Yeah.
It's really important to support local businesses, which means there's often quite a short train of travel for where these products have come from. Many of them can also be homemade, which means they can often be ethical. And
it's also quite a cute, like, little day out, isn't it? Going to a
I know.
market.
You can make like a real deal of it. And also at this time, you know, it's Christmas. This is the perfect time for markets.
They'll all be very festive.
Yeah. And obviously you can get like a whole range of products, so it's not restrictive. Like, for example, Wokingham does a vegan market each month. Yeah. There's multiple markets around the area because, of course, we live quite close to some small towns and villages. Yeah. So.
I'm actually planning to go to a market, not this weekend, but next weekend, which is specifically for Christmas, and it's like an ethical kind of an ethical Christmas market. Like, so if you want to go and buy presents for people, they recommend that you go here because everything that you buy will be like ethically produced and sourced, which I'm looking forward
really
to. Yeah. So, well, thank you for talking to me about sustainability today. One of the ways I like to kind of round off the podcast is to ask my guest, and I will provide one as well, but for a career tip, because we are campus jobs, so we do like to...
Obviously.
Yeah, promote careers. So do you have a career tip for us?
Yeah, so I've been working quite closely with careers, actually, to specifically look at finalist support and how we can communicate it better, because... You guys have so much going on that actually it's quite difficult sometimes to find out. So my tip, which links really well to sustainability, is to think digital. So the careers website literally provides all the information you might need to help with CVs, assessment centres, what to do beyond your degree. It's so helpful. So I would absolutely turn to there. But also think digital when you're applying for jobs or when you're trying to sell yourself. Like, LinkedIn is a really useful tool for setting yourself up. When you tend to apply for jobs, you'll often find employers look for you on LinkedIn. So if you can
build that profile.
Yeah, if you can. And of course, like, careers, they offer sessions to help you build that profile so you're not out there by yourself.
I guess one of the aspects of going digital is then to print less paper, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Save the trees.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that since going... campus jobs used to do paper contracts, but since going paperless, they've actually managed to save, let me say this right, fingers crossed, 29,390 pieces of paper.
That is amazing.
I know, which apparently is equivalent to 600 kilowatts of energy. So my career tip, and it links in with Molly's and sustainability as well, about being sustainable in the workplace, is that take a water bottle to work and cut back on those disposable cups. I noticed, Molly, that you have on your desk with you the Campus Jobs water
I do
bottle.
indeed.
Woo woo! Little bit of promo here, shameless promo. But if you keep an eye out on the Campus Jobs social media, you yourself can be in with the chance of winning this lovely water bottle.
Ooh.
And thanks for that.
Glamorous assistant.
And yeah, that's the end of this week's podcast. But I can inform you that the next podcast will focus on graduate schemes.